afternoon and welcome to another MPA lunch. Fabulous turnout yet again. Fantastic to see so many faces and many familiar faces from some of our previous events. We have a fantastic panel, all here to talk and regale about magazines. We're going to talk about different areas. We're going to talk about magazines in the digital world. We're going to focus on print. We're going to focus on why the readers choose those magazines, plus the trust elements involved.
Nowadays, it's not just about the magazine, it's about the brand as a whole. So there's so many more opportunities for advertisers because, I mean, the way we see it here, and I'm sure it's the same with you guys, is that the magazine is very much the mothership, and then the kind of brand platform surrounding it. So, for example, we kind of drive people through the website, back to the magazine, use the radio as well, and it's just this kind of multimedia platform which has just got, is all the more powerful because
I wanted to come to this event first and foremost because it's up in Manchester and we're always doing kind of things in London. I think it's really important to speak to the people up here and reach the kind of potential advertisers up here, and also just talk about the role of magazines because that is such an important role. We play a really important part and stronger than ever. I think today's event it's been great actually. It's been great to get the feedback from people here. They seem to have really enjoyed it, and I think it's great for me and other editors just to really emphasise the role of the magazine today and let people know just how much of a trusted source it still is. Irrespective of all the digital media that's out there, you know, we're still a powerful brand.
You, like us, are looking at the content you want, the relationship you want with consumers, the content you want to talk to them about, and you're making sure it's appropriate for the platform. That's the entire business we're in now. We've all got great content, we all want to reach people, so we've all got to think creatively about how we do that, whether it's print or whether it's digital.
It's just really useful to talk to people directly, face to face, never mind new modern media, but getting in the same room as people, whether they are people who might organise advertising in your magazine or are your readers, it's always a benefit. It's a really positive future. We talked a little bit today about different ages reading different magazines, and I know that on Good Food we have a lot of mums who buy subscriptions for daughters. You know, that's fantastic because then we absolutely know there's a new generation of readers coming up, so we're not worried about that. We think we're in quite a good position.
The reason that magazines are such a powerful tool is that it's about trust and authority, and you know, if we say those five are the best, they believe that they're the best. If we run a feature, they believe it, and that relationship is absolutely integral to our success.
It was really important to participate in this event because I'm a huge believer in magazines as a medium. But I also think it's important that everyone understands the power of the brand and all the different ways we're getting that out there. It's been brilliant to get out of London and meet all the Manchester ad people and PR people and to find out what their concerns are so that we can address those when we get back. I think the magazines that are a brand have a great future. You know, you need to understand that the magazine is at the heart, and you need to be talking to your readers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, be that online, on Twitter, through events, but at the heart of it lies the magazine, and I think that will always be there.
As with every successful magazine, we've created this whole world where we almost have a personal relationship with our readers. They know us and they know what it means. They literally do know what a glamour feature is as opposed to a Marie Claire or a Cosmo feature. So that's the whole thing that we created.
It's really inspiring for me to hear other editors, and we don't normally sit around and talk about our businesses in that way. So it's very inspiring for me, and it's just been great to see the level of interest in magazines, and I thought the questions were very, very astute in sort of like in showing that interest. We've all been able to demonstrate today just what a loyal base of readers we have, and the fact that what Barry was saying about the biggest sector that's growing in terms of magazine readership is the very young sector. So I think that we're going to have a lot more opportunities in the next decade to engage with those readers through different mediums, but people will still always have an attachment to print, so it's up to us to keep producing brilliant glossy magazines.
How much of your revenue comes from print and how much from digital? It's still 86% coming from print. So all of the investment obviously is going into 14%, and that will only grow. But I think it's really important, as the editors have said, that we don't lose sight of that focus that we absolutely have to still have in print, because it represents still by far the vast majority of what we do. The future potential is obviously in the digital space that we've been talking about.
I think I got a real sense of the buzz that there is up here in Manchester within the media
advertising community. I go to some of these events in London, maybe because it's a lot more spread out. You tend not to get as many people, funnily enough, or it can be a little bit more formal, whereas everybody today seems to know each other. You get a real sort of good media village atmosphere to it, full house, and they seem remarkably quite interested in what we had to say, which is always good. I think it's important because magazines sometimes we feel are getting a little bit lost in the rush towards what people would call new media. Magazines, we feel, of course, are very much a part of that. It's no longer old media versus new media. It's magazine brands, which has got a central part of it is the magazine, but they've also got their website, their apps, their Twitter feeds. So I think it's important just to come and remind people, hopefully they don't need too much reminding, that magazine brands, you know, are bigger than they've ever been. I mean, it's challenging because some of the traditional magazine print versions are obviously, you know, not quite as strong as they once were. So I think it's important that we get the message across. The magazine brands are bigger in all their glorious platforms. I think growth, excitement, and that unique trust that people have in magazines will transfer across from print into all the other exciting new versions yet to be invented.
Well, I think that wraps it up nicely. Our hour is up. I think it's fairly safe to say we've had a very enjoyable, entertaining and educational experience courtesy of a fantastic bunch of panellists. So let's have a big rousing round of applause.